Once a year, somewhere in Brazil, an Olympic flame is lit, announcing the opening of the Indigenous Games, the Indian Games. The participants represent 40 or 50 of the more than 200 different peoples living in the country. They don't have the same backgrounds or the same cultures. Each group brings with it its own sports and traditional games. In the spirit of the Indians who created them, the Amazon Games are an opportunity to come together, affirm one's identity, and claim one's place in Brazilian society. For the men and women who make the journey every year, it's primarily a great adventure. For the Enawene Nawe from the southern Amazon, the ball game is a ritual. And it begins in the forest with the making of a latex ball. In January, during the celebration honoring their main divinity, Jaguar, the men play every day.
It's more than just a game. This ball, which we've been making ourselves for a long time, doesn't belong to us. It belongs to the spirits. We've always played with it.
The Enawene number about 400, all living in the same village. When Yoko Ari was a child, they were still at war with their neighbors. Oddly enough, contact with the white man, about 30 years ago, brought about peace. Ever since then, a few new objects have made their appearance in the malokas, these large collective houses, because they are useful to the Enawene and because they are unusual objects.
I think it's a piece of jewelry, and this is the necklace. I don't know what the white man calls it. We call it a piece of metal, that's all, just a piece of metal. The white man gave it to me when we went to the games, and I liked it, and I kept it as a souvenir.
The Enawene have only participated in the games for the last few years. That's where they discovered the cable tug of war. For some Indians, it's a traditional manner of measuring one's strength. For the Enawene, it became a specialty of theirs very quickly. And last year, they were the champions. The organization in charge of the games pays for the trip, and places are therefore limited. It's not easy to choose who will go and who will stay behind. Almost everyone wants to go.
We look for the strongest ones to go to the games. We only choose the strongest because they've got to beat all the other Indians.
Well, it's important for us. We don't want to lose. The tug of war is the way we show that we're the strongest Indians in Brazil.
For the Métis, 4,000 kilometers away at the Peruvian border, the big day is also coming. The Métis are hunters and live in one of the best preserved forests in Brazil. With their enormous blowpipes, they're considered the stars of the games. They don't have to practice to demonstrate their prowess, since they use them every day. The bow and arrow is another thing entirely. They're not accomplished archers, but they nevertheless participate in the competition.
I didn't hit the eye. I just got the fin and the tail. It's not too bad anyway. If I can hit the eye at the games, that would be fantastic.
The Métis are the only ones who make the trip by plane. This year, the games are 6,000 kilometers from their home. 10 Métis will make the journey.
We have to go to the same place our ancestors left a long time ago. There will be other Indians there. They want to show us off to the white man.
I don't want to go. There are too many white men there. They give you diseases.
I'm going there to sell my blowpipes, but I'll leave my daughters and my son behind. There won't be anyone to hunt for them.
The hunters are the ones who are going. If the plane falls and they die, that will be the end of us. The only ones left will be the old people.
The Métis haven't forgotten what they went through 30 years ago when the white man arrived. A flu epidemic decimated 3/4 of the population. Of the 5 villages that once existed, only 1 remains. Most of the villagers weren't around then, but the sadness is still visible on their faces, even those of the children. The village is in permanent contact with the nearest Funai post. The Funai is the state organization set up to protect the Indians. The Funai organizes the trip to the games. Binon's job is to communicate with the Funai. He's the only one who can speak Portuguese. When he was a teenager, he was bitten by a snake and spent several months at the Manaus hospital.
Masape? Masape? Tumi? Ay, taga nakit na istay nuken mi hachunan kakakon kinamik. Ay, bulik tamiki bulike. Ay. Set oku set kas nuka cha 12 minute ka tala no kwal kimi chege.
The Enawene will be going by bus.
Malkirusen na to kamio. Hegi taun mosu to hena, hegi taun mosu to hena, ta sa ta hakun hira, hegi taun mosu to hena mun so shogo se. Kasin ta uyi na, kasin da ja to shogo sa na uyi na, kasin ta da to wanya. Un mosu ja hulai ta gotan mo na uya ne hurai ta kamio.
Like Binan for the Metis, Mari Carasone is a bit like the Enawene foreign minister. He's the only one who can speak Portuguese, and he will be their interpreter during the games. The departure is scheduled for tomorrow.
I want my hair to be cut really well, because lots of Indians are going to see me there, and they're going to talk about my haircut.
As they often do before an important trip, the men invoke the spirits, hoping they will watch over the village. They also sing for their women, asking them to wait for their return and promising to come back with presents. The Enawene, 26 of them, will be leaving this morning, about half of the able-bodied men in the village. Thanks to their outboard motors, the Enawene are only about 10 hours from the city. They were offered to them by the farmers of the neighboring fazendas. In exchange, they asked that a road be built on their lands. The road was never created, but the Enawene kept the motors. This time, the games will take place outside the Amazon in Porto Seguro, a small town in the state of Bahia on the Atlantic coast. None of them has ever gone this far away from home before.
We are very curious. We all want to see another city, to get to know Bahia, to see what things far away from here are like. That's what we're all hoping for right now. The games are the only possibility for us to travel and to meet other Indians.
After 2 days on the Itui River, the Metis can finally see Tabatinga, the small town on the Colombian border. That's where they will take the plane, first to Manaus and then to Bahia. They'll be crossing Brazil from west to east in order to reach the sea. They have to have enough equipment for several weeks in the city. They also have many hours to kill waiting for planes in the airports.
Pega o pequeno. Pega o pequenininho aí.
We used to think that when a Matisse was killed by a snake, the airplane came to take his spirit away. They were small planes that came for the spirits. There weren't any big ones like these. That one seems to have a heart. And a penis and testicles, look.
Meanwhile, the Enawene have found their bus. They settle into it for the 4-day journey.
Well, those are women singing. They miss us already. We're all sad.
I don't know the white man's city very well. We Enawene hardly ever go there. I wouldn't dare go alone. I'd get lost. I know just a little. Just a little.
The little town of Porto Seguro is there, at the end of 200 kilometers of trail and 3,000 more of asphalt. Every year, an Olympic village, Indian style, is built in a different city. The region that receives the games does the organizing. This year, it's Bahia. And like every year, construction is not finished. Most of the Indians are already there. More than 30 ethnic groups have made the trip. The Enawene arrived during the night.
Nawe. Hey. Hey, no pa rin ji. Hey. Hey. Cho kami. Hey. Cho mi kami. Hey. Hey. Attention. Hey. Oh, mulok mo cho kami. Ino lagunta. Ino lagunta. 3 avión, 4 avión. 4 avión. Atalaya, Tabatinga, Manaus, Brasília, São Paulo. Aqui. Recu. Aí.
The Matisse are like us. They haven't forgotten their language. They're like they always were. Like they were in the past.
There are no women here. Who's going to cook for us?
É 59,40 o quilo. Só que tem desconto, né? Aí
The games are the occasion for the Indians to sell some of their craft work and for indigenous art dealers to find some bargains.
também 23, tá? Azul, água. Esse azul chama de água, tá? 18. 6,6. Você tem que dar 6 e cortar 1/6 do 6 décimos do outro. Um pedaço do outro. 2. Tem que dar mais. Fabiano, você tem R$2 aí? Tem. Vai botando na conta aí.
In the 30 or so makeshift huts, each group gets ready for the opening ceremony. The Enawene have spent hours painting their bodies. They not only want to be the strongest, but the handsomest as well.
Well, the other Indians are already like the white man. They've forgotten that they're Indians. Me, I'm a real Indian. I don't wear anything in my village. A shirt gets worn out fast. It becomes ugly, but not this. The body, the skin, the muscles with paint and decorations, they're much nicer.
Before joining the others for the ceremony, the Enawene do some strutting around the Olympic village. The dining room is open all day long. Indians don't eat at fixed times. The Enawene eat very little meat and lots of honey, convinced that this is what makes them so strong. In the meantime, the other Indians have all assembled behind the stadium.
Those are the Kayapo. And those over there are the Wai.
Hey.
This year, 1,200 Indians will participate in the Amazon Games, representing 34 different peoples. They were all invited by the organizers either because they've kept up their traditions or because, in one way or another, they bring these traditions back to life. Without the Games, the majority of these groups would never meet.
Enquanto eles vão cumprimentando o público, vamos carinhosamente receber mais uma etnia que participa dos Jogos Indígenas. O povo de Portugal!
Wherever they take place, the games arouse curiosity. The Indians are still little known in their vast country and are often victims of prejudice. Tonight, several thousands of people have come for the celebration, including residents of the region, tourists, and a government minister, since the state finances part of the games. Faced with this huge, staring crowd, even the Enawene are intimidated. The Métis aren't very comfortable either in their role as stars, but they let themselves be carried away by the excitement of the crowd and the overexuberance of the master of ceremonies. The next day, like the colors and the excitement of the previous night's celebration, the Olympic Village is nothing but a souvenir. The rain and wind swept it all away during the night. The Indians had to take shelter, and the Métis are the last to evacuate the area.
Porto Seguro is awful and scary. There's water everywhere. It's the kind of place with a lot of anacondas. It's all swamp. And there are already crocodiles watching us. Look.
The Indians have been hastily taken to the city convention center 15 kilometers away, where they were placed in a huge gymnasium. Like the others, the Enawene try to regain their strength after a long, sleepless night.
I'm a little ashamed to be lying on the ground like this.
Well, the games can't go on in this weather. We'll leave once we've made some money. We haven't sold one blowpipe up to now. If we don't sell any, how are we going to eat? How are we going to buy nets to fish with? Or spears for big fish? How can we buy condoms? Or hatchets to chop down trees? Or soap to wash our women's vaginas?
You know why it's raining? Because when we came to the Bahia region, it was very hot, and the Indians don't like the heat. So we did a rain dance, and now it's raining. That's why.
And what's your solution?
There's nothing to do but wait and watch the rain fall. In the end, the sun solves the problem by simply reappearing at last after 2 days and 2 nights. The games can finally begin.
If you hit the eye, you get the maximum, 60 points. There, since his mouth is open, the arrow goes through it, that's only 3 points. And in the blue area is also 3 points.
If you hit the eye, that's 60 points. Around it's only 3.
I'm going to hit the white circle of the eye.
And this blue part here in the mouth, that's 3 points too.
The first event, Archery, is set up on a makeshift piece of land in the center's garden. The Indians are a little disappointed. There's hardly any audience, only them and the reporters. Of the 29 contestants, only 1 woman dares to participate, and fortunately for the men, she's not part of the official competition. She will be the only one to hit the eye of the fish.
I never saw a woman shoot an arrow. I had to come all the way here to see it.
The Matisse arrows are a little too heavy for the distance. Chami's chances are slim. As usual, the Enawene's hopes lie in Kamikiene, since he came in second 3 years ago. After counting up the points, Kamikiene is tied for first with a Waiwai. This arrow will determine the winner.
Vamos então. Atenção, guerreiro Enawene Nawe. Concentração. Autorizado o primeiro tiro. Opa! Valeu então. Parabéns, Enawene Nawe. Já vai ali se preparando. Edmilson Waiwai já vai se posicionando. Vai ser autorizado para o primeiro tiro. Guerreiro de Edmilson Waiwai.
With his arrow in the fish's eye, the Waiwai wins the competition.
I almost had the eye. Almost. I was close. If I'd had the eye, all the Enawene would have been happy. But I'm still very proud.
The games are well underway, but half of the events are canceled. There are only 2 days left of the 7 originally scheduled. The Indians and even the organizers have to live with it. It's not the first time that this problem has occurred.
There's something wrong. It's not fair. They cheated. They took a shortcut. Who do we see for that?
Carlos is the Terrana Indian who invented the Amazon Games 20 years ago. He knows that the stakes are higher than just winning or losing. What counts most is being there.
We have to break down the prejudice against Indians. We don't worry whether the local population likes us or not. We come here anyway and teach them to respect us by showing our different cultures. The majority of the people here don't speak Portuguese. They come here in the middle of a community and say, look, I'm here with my children, with my culture. It doesn't matter how many people attend. There are always enough people there to send out our message, the message that we exist, that we're part of Brazil, and that people have to realize that we're different and to accept us for what we are.
It's the big day for the Enawene, the day of the tug of war. This morning, however, the bad news from their village hit them very, very hard.
We have to leave today. We can go this afternoon. We've already got enough gas for the trip back.
A great singer from our village is very sick. It's not a white man's sickness, it's the spirit of evil. Jaguar was responsible. He wants us to perform more rituals. We have to return home for these rituals, if not, we'll die. When it rained for 3 days without a stop, the shaman told us that the spirit of evil is angry, and the shaman knows about things like that.
Sickness has struck our village. We can't stay here and enjoy ourselves. It's not right.
Barely recovered from the torrential rains, the earth is finally dry, and the stands have been repaired. The cable tug of war can now take place. To the great distress of the organizers, the Indians have entered the arena to support their teams.
Atenção, Mirante e Enawene Nawe. Mirante e Enawene Nawe.
They still haven't found a bus to take them back home. They'll have to wait for the end of the games. In spite of their sorrow, they finally decide to participate.
Vamos lá então, atenção! Enawene Nawe, Irante, valendo!
It's the big day for the Matis, too. They can finally demonstrate their prowess with the blowpipe. And, like every year, to their great dismay, they are announced as the Jaguar Men.
We're not jaguars. They think we look like jaguars. Jaguars have huge fangs. Look, I don't have fangs.
Their teeth hang down like this. We're not jaguars. We kill jaguars with our arrows.
And jaguars have spots all over. Honestly, white men don't understand anything.
Olha só, nós vamos receber a partir de agora eles que vieram direto do Amazonas para mostrar toda a sua cultura. Vamos receber com uma salva de palmas o povo Matiz. O povo Matiz vai cumprimentando o público. E olha só, o melhor prêmio dele é a salva de palmas empolgante de vocês. É o carinho, a festa. Cuidado. Tem que deixar mais uma salva de palmas para ele. O pessoal da imprensa que está lá pode entrar também ali, pô. Aí fica... aqui, ó. Epa! Salva de palmas então. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, Mentira. Olha só, vão se preparando para mais alguns tiros. Vamos para mais um tiro de seta. Vão ser todos juntos agora, Bruno? Atenção, vão todos eles atirar juntos. Epa! Salva de palmas então. Atenção, grupo. Dá uma pulinha aqui. E o público vai aplaudindo o povo Matiz.
As night falls, the Enawene forget for a while that their village is in danger. They've qualified for the tug-of-war final.
Enawene Nawe, já entrando também. Eu quero ver os parentes já fazendo bagunça aqui de bancada.
To retain their title, they have to beat the Yawalapitis, Indians from Chingu, an immense reserve in the eastern Amazon.
It's no joke. I'm really strong.
I'm very strong because I don't eat sugar or rice, just honey and drinks made of corn and manioc.
We're not like the others. We're the strongest. The others are already like the white man. We're real Indians.
I'm not very happy because there are a lot of people sick in our village. And we're all in a hurry to get home because our children are in danger.
De ajudar a divulgar a verdadeira cultura brasileira, a cultura dos povos indígenas do Brasil.
By leaving before the end, the Enawene will escape the closing speeches and the national anthem, but they won't receive their souvenir gift either.
We got necklaces and a medal too. Look. I'll keep it in my house.
The Matis will go home with a miniature Brazil in their hands, but before leaving, they've something very important to do: dive into the sea.
You can't get anywhere in this water. It's really tiring.
It's very hard. Look how it's moving.
It's immense. How can you find your way? There are no trees. And you can't see the other side.
Yes, you can. You can see the other side.
They've been told about the sea since they were children, this great expanse of salt water which brought the white man here. In fact, it was on this very beach that the Portuguese landed 5 centuries ago. The cross marks the spot where they celebrated their first Mass.
It's here that the white men started to seize Indian territory. They began to kill them, and so the Indians dispersed. But this is the very first Indian land.
The cross is the spirit of destruction. The white man created it to eliminate our ancestors. It's the spirit of extermination. That's what we learned. It's good to have seen it so we can tell everyone at home. It's also good to have seen the ocean.